Well, how'd it go? Here's something crazy that happened earlier this week. This Saturday, last week. Wife gets a phone call from her brother. Hey, come pick my son up. See, they live in a different school zone. You know, his kids go to our school zone, our school district. And after school, he goes to a like a little after-school daycare thing. And if him and his wife can't get there in time, then I pick him up, or mother-in-law picks him up. Someone will pick him up, takes him to the house, and he hangs at our house for a while until one of the parents come home. So anyway, usually I pick him up. You know, he's an iPad kid. He's an indoor kid. I'm trying to get him more outdoors a little bit. And a lot of times when I go pick him up, there's a instead of going home on the streets, there's a retention pond area. It's about a quarter mile worth of grass, trees. The retention pond itself isn't maintained at all. It's a spillway, a deep, large. It would be a great pond if it held water. Most times it don't. And then beside that is a field that the city of Houston kind of keeps mowed every so often. So anyway, that's what they do. I jump the curb and I take them through there. If it's muddy, I put it in 4-wheel drive. If it's not muddy, it's 2-wheel drive. And that's just kind of his. That is as much as off-road as he goes. So when they go to the beach, they go to Kalahari. It's the indoor beach. So anyway, so my wife gets a phone call saying, "Hey, go pick my son up from his little daycare thing." So all right. So she tells me, "Hey, go pick up Cafe and pick him up and take him home." And she says, "Hey, want to come with me? Okay, can I come with you?" I said, "Yeah, come with me." So we hop in the Jeep and head that way. You know, and technically I could turn a corner and off-road it that way, but I go down city streets, down Bel Air and South Kirkwood and everything. And we go pick him up. And I say, "Hey, let's take a shortcut." He likes the shortcut. He likes it. Well, he liked it then. He may not like it no more. But he says, "Yeah, that's fun because bounce, and it's a path that a lot of dirt bikers and quad riders sort of take, and there's a bunch of dirt bike paths back there. It's about a quarter mile long, and surrounded by neighborhoods and a creek. Creek borders one side, neighborhoods the other side. The rest of it's just kind of, just. You can tell some old homeless encampments because when it's on the dry side, it's off the beaten path and it's out of the way, but yet it's close enough. You can just out of the woods, and you have little markets and stuff and streets and the panel on. And but when it rains though, it comes swampy, and then all of a sudden the homeless kind of abandon their camps because I think they don't realize how fast that fills with the water, because there's a creek next to it. Doesn't have a name, I don't think, but that creek flows into Braeswood Bayou. And there's a spillway, so when it fills up, it holds the water, then spills over into the creek. So anyway, there's a lot of abandoned camps. You can tell there used to be a tent there, or there used to be tarps. You can tell there used to be a homeless camp. Anyway, so we pick them up, and let's take a shortcut. Yeah, let's take a shortcut. Get the bounce. So I do a little U-turn and up over this curb. And if you got a low truck or a Honda or a Toyota, don't do that. You get hung up. My Jeep can handle it. It's tall enough, and because it's up a curve, then it's up, then there's a kind of abrupt down, and you're into this area, and it's that down that if you don't have a high vehicle, you're gonna get high centered and stuck. So we jump it and we start going. Well, I was like, "Can you do this? Is this allowed?" I'm like, "I'm a taxpayer. This is City of Houston property. I pay for this." But yeah, it's just it's a retention pond. If that pond held water, I'd be out there fishing in it all the time. It doesn't hold water long enough that I don't fish to even get in there. It'll rain, it'll get filled up, and then it's designed just to hold water long enough for everything to dry off. Then it drains off itself, so it doesn't hold water. But yeah, we're bouncing along, and come across there's one little quad track going that way, and that goes a different direction. That's a narrow quad track. I could fit in it, but the brush should be scraping my mirrors. That's how narrow it really is. But I could if I wanted to. But we went straight, and I saw that pass up, and I saw another little walkway slash, you know, path going into the bushes. And you know, I'm always looking for, you know, fishing spots and looking for deer, rabbits, hogs, and I'm always kind of, my brain's always just, so you know, instead of being like this, you know, looking out the window, I'm bouncing around, kind of looking that way and looking down the creek side. The creek is literally dropped straight off from on this side over here. Probably, I ain't lying, about 10-12 feet. Then you have a little shallow creek. The creek's about 5 foot across and probably about a couple feet deep. I mean, it probably has fish, but nothing in there that's worth fishing in. Anyway, quarter my eye, I see something kind of, you know, as I'm looking, and I just, it took that second from my brain to realize what did I just see, and I stopped. I said, you know, and I kind of out loud said, that's not what I thought it is it? Well, I was like, what was it? So I put it in reverse. Now my nephew's in the back seat, so he's now looking that way, trying to see what I saw, because he didn't see what I saw yet. And so as I back up, he's gonna see whatever that was before I can see it out my window. And of course, as I'm backing up, the first thing out of his mouth is, "Hey, someone sleeping." And when he said that, that's my brain says, "Oh, it is what I thought I saw." And as I get to my mirror, I realized, you know, my glass, I realized, yep, it's a deceased person. It looked like it used to be a camp there. I mean, I see a smashed up tent and some old mattress, and just, you can tell it was a homeless camp. And yeah, it was a deceased man laying on the ground. So he'd been there probably 4 or 5 days. I mean, about a week, because he was in that state of decomposition. And but you know, I was looking, it's like, man, is that, because when a person kind of bloats, your you know, their features get distorted, and things about them get distorted. So I said, that's, maybe, you know, my brain kept saying that's not, it is, but my brain kept saying, no, that's got to be a mannequin. That's got to be, it looks too weird. So I get out, walk around, and you know, just get close enough to where I can really definitely identify that smell hit. And then I noticed the flies, and you know, and it just said like, yeah, that's the person. Hop back in my truck, and call 911. That's weird though. I called 911, and you know, first thing, what's your emergency? You know, and you need a fire. They always ask you need a police or a fire department. I said, yeah, police. I need the police. I need the fire department. Like, you know what, on fire. No medical emergency going on. So I need the police. Okay, what's the emergency? Oh, there's a deceased person over here in the field. Oh, okay. What's your address? I said, ma'am, I don't have an address. This is in the middle of a retention pond area. There is no physical address where I'm at. Oh, okay. Well, let me hold on here. Let me forward you over to a different dispatch. And so they forwarded to different dispatch, and then they relayed information to them. Then they hung up. That dispatch said, okay, so what is your address, sir? I'm like, well, I'm in between you know, Cook Road and Kirkwood, but there's not an address. This is a retention pond / wooded area. It's not no address. I said, my phone GPS is on. She says, yes, sir. I see your cell phone pinging. I see where you're at. How do you get there? And I guess, you know, when I have maps on, I have it on satellite view, because I can see buildings and trails and woods. I can see things. If you take it off of that view, now I'm imagining she probably has off of satellite view and on it's a regular map view. And I imagine she's just seeing a dot, a cell phone ping, and in the middle of a green field with no way to get to it. She probably sees the creek, neighborhoods around it, and just a green field. And with like, okay, how do you get there? And so I told her, I said, yeah, the best way to get there, don't do Kirkwood side, because it's a, you know, curb, you got to jump. And I don't know, I'm assuming they're gonna bring a police car. And yeah, you get a police car, or you know, try to any kind of cop car, you're gonna get hung. They're gonna get hung up. So I said, let me go down the Cook Road side, And that's the easiest way, because there is that a little drive that comes off Cook Road. That's how they City of Houston bring the trucks in there so they can mow that part of the grass. Because they actually do mow parts of the pond there. Anyway, I go over there, wait, and I'm kind of thinking they're gonna bring a, police. This is police. This is a police thing. There's a fire department down the street from my house, and I couldn't remember the number. Was it 67 or 76 or what the fire department number was? And I said, there's a fire department right down the road. I think somewhere in the call, she says, okay, Cook Road. Okay, yes, there is one. I've located that one. And in my mind, I was yet thinking, why we need a fire department for? Anyway, I'm waiting, and before you know it, I saw the cherries and berries light up. I said, oh, they're bringing an ambulance. So, I got a childish sense of humor sometimes. But yeah, the ambulance kind of drive my way, and kind of stop, and they see me standing there. I told her, I see, I'll be in a green Jeep, on the field itself, kind of standing on the easement waiting. So ambulance comes, and he kind of pauses, and I kind of wave and wait, like this, and he then turns and up the little driveway curb and everything. And I told him, I said, yeah, he's deceased. He's a dead body, but I could show you. And I was still wondering why you bring an ambulance, because you're a day late, $1 short. But I said, let me drive you down there, because it's around the corner. It's like a little trail back there. So he followed me, and got to where he was, got out and pointed that way. He put his little gloves on and everything, and I'm thinking, man, unless you have the power of Christ, I don't know what you're gonna do. He got out and looked and said, oh, he's deceased. And I'm just kind of wondering, what part of deceased did you not get? when the 911 told you, and when I told you. So anyway, I went ahead and exited the other direction. I said, yeah, because there's nowhere to turn around. And I didn't feel like going down the little quad trail, because that loops around the other side. It's just too skinny. I didn't feel like getting down there. So I hopped out the other side. And by the time I got back to Cook Road, this dude, because he's in an ambulance. He's in one of the big box ambulance. And there's absolutely no way he can turn around. And so he had to literally back his way out of that little path all the way out back to Cook Road. And so he was parked there, and I guess he called police, do the investigation. And I'm not sure who does body retrievals nowadays. Back in the day, here in Houston, you used to watch the news about any kind of body found or body, being picked up or murder scene. Santana, company called Santana, used to come and do all the, crime scene pickups and stuff. So I'm not sure who's doing it nowadays. If it's Santana or who now? Don't know. And it could be who knows? I don't know. But I kind of hope. I kind of hope they had enough information on him they could contact family, or have some kind of closure, and it's kind of sad. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was homeless, more likely, because where he was a kind of busted up homeless camp. What I finally found kind of interesting, kind of crazy, he was butt naked, and around the corner, probably about 200 yards ish from where he was, there's another big wooded section that has a big tree, and there's always dogs under there. Dogs have collars, and it looks like there's always a little makeshift tent camp tarp thing over there. So there's another homeless person there. At least it was up to that point. Driving by there just a week going back from work, the little dogs are usually out there in the field, kind of just chilling. They're all gone. So I kind of, I'm not sure what kind of honor homeless guys have with each other. I'm kind of hoping he didn't fall over, have a heart attack or something. This other homeless dude, still his britches and everything, because the guy was butt naked. So I don't know. I mean, when you're homeless, clothing is valuable. I mean, when you're not homeless, I can go to Walmart and buy a t-shirt. When you're homeless and don't have much money, most of your efforts is trying to find food and shelter. And so I thought that was kind of strange. But drive by there now, the other homeless guy that lives closer to Cook Road side, you can almost see his camp from Cook Road. that's been cleared out now. So maybe the police finally came and questioned him, which they probably would. You know, hey, do you know this person over here? And you know, blah blah blah. And maybe that was enough to make this guy either say I'm out, or maybe the police said, hey, this is you can't be camping out here, you know, type of deal. So I don't know, but hopefully they found his next of kin, and you know, get some closure, get him buried. You know, it's kind of sad. But I tell you that much, I bet my nephew would never. Yeah, as of right now, they haven't even called me up to go pick him up. So, because that's I heard the in-law was kind of upset that I even go off road and put him in a situation where he'll see something like that. But dude's almost 11 years old. You know, I mean, so yeah, he needs to kind of, well, to me, if I had a son that age, he would already be out there fishing and hunting, and so life and death would be not as abrupt thing as finding a person dead. You know, it'd be more, you know, I can't explain it, but yeah, I guess if you've never been outdoors really at all, then anything that is not alive would kind of maybe freak you out. Yeah, that's all I got. So sad. Sad. Hot to piece, Latchkey.